Okay, we're currently live. I'm trying to find the link so I can share that. Videos. God damn it, how do you find it? Wait, my
Have the
phone.
event time saved?
Huh?
Was it like before you set the event and then it has a thing for...
No, it doesn't tell you where it is, where it's going to post. It just gives you a thing. It just auto-posts it. So you've got to, like, try and sort of find it around it. Like, it's weird. It's very, very strange. How do you do this? We have one viewer. Hello, viewer.
Hang in there with us. Hang in there with us.
We're trying to get it sorted. It's just we've got to go live to check that everything works, and I'm trying to find all the correct links, and it's not really working. Oh God. Yes, I know that I'm looking at Google Plus as myself, but I planned on doing that. What I don't understand is why I can't see it on my YouTube channel.
Is that usually where it would show you the link to it, like it's like starting soon?
Oh yeah, it's just shown up. I don't know why it took that long. Okay.
Oh, okay, it just showed up now. All right.
Okay, so I'm sending you the link in our chat. There you go. I'm gonna send it in the other chat as well. And then I'm gonna go to the original video and I'm gonna comment in there.
And, save that. Now go to this, make a new post. Put that in there. Paste that. And submit that. And then I say if this one doesn't have the chat work, we'll just move forward.
We'll just go for it, yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll just, that'll be something we'll just have to figure out next time. And then, and you know what I was thinking about also is you can always, because you can download the videos after they're done and recorded, and we could always edit little parts out or whatever for just the part that's recorded. It's not as big of a deal if the live part goes roughly in the beginning, because it can just be cut. There's that.
Oh, you can't post links in bloody YouTube because it's stupid.
I have to update an Instagram.
Okay, I'm going to edit the text then instead, if I can. Facebook, I don't know.
I gotta go to the post into the old link. Oh well, I don't think it will.
Post.
Oh my god, it's not letting me do that there. I'll just delete this one and make a new one. It's no big deal. This will take 2 seconds. Wait, I need to copy text though. Hang in there with us as we fix things.
Okay, we've got 3 viewers. I think that means people are finding us.
That's good. People show up. Good. Hang in there. We got this.
We're getting there, guys.
We got this.
I don't think we have chat, though, and I don't know why.
I don't know why the chat's not working this way either. It worked so perfectly last time.
Yeah, it was really good last time.
Oh, well.
We can't even ask people if they can see chat.
Well, we can ask them in the Reddit, Reddit thread. And the new Reddit thread is up.
Okay. Reddit. Okay. Okay, I'll post the Reddit thread in my Facebook so that my guys can find it, because they won't know that. Okay, Jack Porter says, still no chat showing. If you're in the Hangout, then you can send questions, but that's not very good for communication.
No,
Could either of you maybe set up a third-party chat?
Well, I mean, there's the IRC as well.
I don't know how to use the IRC.
I got that. I mean, but that's, you know, people can just click into an IRC and then put in the, hashtag Artist Lounge and go straight into that. The link's in the sidebar on the Artist Lounge, and then that's a chat, and you can go in there. It's not quite as convenient, but you can just put in like a temporary nickname. You don't need to register things.
Okay, so let me see if I can figure that out. So if I'm in Artist Lounge, and then I go to IRC, and then the hashtag Artist Lounge one, yeah?
Yeah, you just, I think, how do I have it set up there? If you just click on that hashtag Artist Lounge, that will take you to the page, and then you just pick a nickname and then log in.
Okay. To us here. Okay, so for the people watching, on my Facebook I've linked that IRC chat, so I'll be watching that. I'm going to put a message in there, I'm going to say hello.
You can go to, the way to get to IRC, I'm trying to think where else I can put the links in the, well, it's in the Artist Lounge. So if you're on the Artist Lounge page at reddit.com/r/artist lounge and look to the right sidebar, there's a link to, this says IRC, and you'll have a little link that just says hashtag Artist Lounge, and that will take you to the login page. And you just need to pick a nickname and fill out a CAPTCHA, and you can join in the chat.
Yeah, people are joining the IRC now. I can see a bunch of guys in there, so thank you to everyone for joining that little chat. Sorry we didn't get it as working as smoothly as before, but oh well, at least we have backups.
Yeah, we will have a chat here. And then give me a quick second because I need to log out of one and into another to the moderator one.
Okay. And then I'm also going to go to Reddit r/artist lounge and go in the new thread that you just posted. You posted a new thread, right?
Yes.
Yeah, ran into technical difficulties. Here's the new link. Okay, I'll be watching that as well. So if anyone ends up in there, you can comment in there. I'll be refreshing that. So if you see me looking over to the right of the screen, that's because I'm looking down at the other monitor, which has all the chat stuff on it.
Okay, and then now I need to log out of this IRC. Oh, everybody, sorry for this silly little...
Yeah, I don't know why this has happened, but thank you for posting the link as well, because it's hard for me to post the link on this machine. I shall steal that link. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so the link is working. We've got that running. It's just for some reason we don't have chat. Oh well, life moves on.
Life moves on. We don't have chat. Well, that's one less screen we'll have to follow, right?
Yeah.
Well, except we just replaced it with a different
We
screen.
did just
That's
replace
okay.
it with another screen.
No
So
big deal.
it's fine. See, guys, look how professional we are.
Well, you see, the thing is when you see it live, you can see all the mistakes, and then we just edit the video later, and it looks like it was seamless.
Absolutely no one will know.
No one will have any idea.
So I guess I should do an introduction again, then. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Artist Lounge podcast. I'm Sarah, aka AGamerDraws, and I'm with Funisher Steffen. We're going to be drawing for the first little bit, and then we're going to be inviting MacAnthony over, Anthony Nelson, another Artist Lounge artist, and he'll be working for the second half of the show with us. So we've picked out a drawing already. The Reddit Gets Drawn piece. Let me just see. I shall link it in the chat on the IRC so you guys can join in, as well as on the Artist Lounge. So let me just get that for you guys. So Reddit Gets Drawn. I think we also have a few topics that we want to talk about as well that we've kind of come up with over the week. So feel free to chat and we'll answer questions, but we'll also be talking about stuff like that.
It's all right. I'm a little thing here. I'm just taking care of a couple quick things.
No
we got
worries.
our wacky little cavalcade of comedy errors.
We'll get there eventually. One day we will start a show with no errors and everything will be fine. Okay, so we are going to be drawing this. Reddit Gets Drawn. Posted it in there. And where's Reddit? Oh, it's in the other thing. Okay. We will be drawing this submission. Save. Okay, it's in both of those for you. And remember, I'm refreshing both of those so I can see you guys.
Let me make sure that my link thing's doing the...
Oh my god, so do I. I really want the triple chocolate cookie. He's so mean that he's got it on the desk, isn't it? Just sitting there.
It's just sitting there for me.
Oh no.
It's only for me.
Such an evil person. So chat, how are you? How is everyone? How has your week's been? Has anyone done anything arty?
I think everybody has. Always. What if I just, at the end of it, I don't even eat the cookie and I just throw it away?
No, you will break my heart.
I just drink the wine and I just throw the cookie in the garbage.
It is Slam, it is a cookie and a glass of wine, because that's how classy Mike is.
Wine, cookie, and I won't lie, there might be a gigantic Gatorade and a bunch of Reese's Pieces off to the side. Like a whole big
Gatorade and wine? What are you doing?
Well, the Gatorade, I was thirsty for water, and then I had this Gatorade. I'm like, well, I'll just drink that because it's sitting there. And then, but I already have wine, so I'm like, well, this is just looking ridiculous. So I hid it off to the side next to this gigantic bag of Reese's Pieces.
I've never had Reese's Pieces.
I bought them on the road. I was in LA and I wanted just a normal, a normal, you have control over your life size bag of Reese's Pieces, and they didn't have any. They just had the big sort your life out bag of Reese's Pieces, and so now I just have them forever and forever. And you haven't had them? Why not? Did they not make it out there or something? You have no idea what you're missing.
No, I think we do have them. I've just never tried them.
Big mistake. And my little intro there was brought to you by Reese's Pieces.
We are not sponsored in any way.
Oh, I
We
get
should be.
so much money from them. I haven't told you yet. I get so much money from them.
Do you?
Oh, it's
You
amazing.
get sponsored by wine companies, and then just get drunk on their wine.
If they want, you know, there's already a user that's willing to send me wine. So you know, that would just be silly. But then it'd be like the thing I'd have to do every time.
You do have to do it every time. You start the
time.
thing. We need to figure out how to do an overlay. Wait, why haven't we got our thingies on? Dude, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I have my
with our
thingy.
lives?
You do your thing. I already have my overlay.
It was the other way around last time. I had mine and you didn't have yours.
Yeah. Busted. I'd like to say right now I need to make an apologize to
You need to
professional
make an
skateboard.
apologize.
I need to make an. Oh my god. I need to make an apologize.
Yep.
Oh, we have to cut out all this. Can we just introduce ourselves again?
We'll just start like the show will be like half an hour because we'll just do the end half an hour where our brains actually turn on.
Make an apologize. Oh my god. We're gonna edit all this out.
No, we're leaving it in. This is how we roll. Go
Oh
with
my
it.
God. Well,
Should we get into like proper discussion? Should we try and like make our brain works by actually talking about make our brain works? What am I doing? I'm
see
just
what's happening.
It's what is?
You know what happened is we were in a groove when we started. We were
We
in
were really good.
perfect
We were like well in.
groove, and then the chat went down, and we're like, let's just fix it real quick. Derailed everything, and now our brains don't even function. And I
Everything went wrong.
haven't even had a glass of wine yet, and I'm already not making sense. All right.
It's fine. It's fine. Be zen.
It's cool.
I like doing this with my gloves because I like how one of them does end up covered and the other one doesn't. I like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
They're like weird reverses of each other.
I'm so jealous of the gloves.
Cool
I
gloves.
just have my stupid hands just doing their thing.
You know what? I should have bought you some and sent it with the books. Send you a flashcard and be like, dude, check it.
Oh, you.
The books are on their way, by the way.
I'm super excited for the books.
Oh, by the way, last night I finished all the writing for book 3. I'm so excited.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
It's
I finished
written?
all the writing for the last book. I'm aiming for a spring, next year release. Not this spring. No, nah.
Yeah, no. You get the
Yes, I
art takes a little
intend to
time.
draw over 200 pages in 3 weeks. No, not quite. But I'll be starting on the thumbnails and stuff soon. And don't worry, guys, I've answered all the questions pretty much all the questions that people have had. I've made sure they're answered. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to starting the series.
Starting series, getting invested. You can be one of the people who sends me messages all the time and is like, when's the next book going to be out?
I just do that anyways.
Yeah, even if you did not.
To bother you. I can just send you messages and just bother you for any reason.
Anyway.
You know. And, oh yeah, so I'm going to make my apologize now.
Make your apologize.
It's time to make apologizes. And I need to apologize to professional skateboarder Mike McGill because last week I was smashed on wine, and someone mentioned some skateboarding tricks. They were making one up, and in it they had said a McTwist, which is a trick that was invented by Mike McGill, member of the Bones Brigade. There's a documentary about the Bones Brigade directed by Stacy Peralta. I suggest everyone watch it.
Okay.
And that trick was quite an accomplishment. It's kind of a inverted 540 mute grab. Now the thing is when I heard that, my brain thought Misty Flip, which is a snowboard trick. So then I said that a McTwist was a snowboarding trick, which it is, but it's really it was invented by Mike McGill, skateboarding trick. And you know what? That was a huge disservice. So I know he's a fan of the show, and he deserves an apology from me for my dumb, completely incorrect comment. And I'm owning up to it. Episode 2. There'll be one person out there who will.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
There will be one person.
And that person is Mike McGill.
Most of that was gibberish words to me. I was just like, what?
In all seriousnness, though, the Bones, it's called Bones Brigade, and the documentary about them is pretty awesome. It was that
skateboarding
really
group
huge, skateboarding team back in the 80s. And it had, like Tony Hawk and Rodney Mullen and all the top guys all in one powerhouse team.
Tony Hawk. Because
have you heard of the documentary Dogtown and Z-Boys?
No.
Oh, man, that's another good one. Never mind. Anyways.
Never mind. There was a great game. Oh, my God. I'm not going to be able to remember what it's called. There was an amazing, hoverboard-type skateboarding game. Chat, what is it? It was so good. It was for the PS2, and I used to play it all the time, and you could just get ridiculous amounts of points on it. And I can't remember what it was called, but it was literally the best thing ever.
I know. It wasn't like one of the... It was a skateboarding game, or what was it?
Well, it was a hoverboard game, but it felt very skateboardy. But, yeah, it was awesome. You did tricks where you, grind down, a really long... what would you call them? One of them hang glide poles that you hang on and then you go all the way down them. You would go on top of one of those and go all the way across the map and stuff. It was insane. It was so fun.
Sounds like it works a lot just like how the Tony Hawk games eventually were.
Yeah, but because it's a hoverboard as well, it made you do extra tricks in the air. It was amazing.
Well, now I'm so curious what this game is. I forgot that I wasn't even drawing.
Yeah, I just realised that I wasn't drawing. I wonder if the game's behind me. It might be behind me. Oh my god, guys, we might discover it. Airblade, yes!
What? I've never even heard of that.
They're right next to each other. Look. 2 of my childhood games that made my life. Wipeout Fusion and Airblade. Get this game. Maybe I'll send it to you. Dude, this game's amazing.
This announcement was brought to you by Sony Entertainment.
This announcement was brought to you by games from 1995, or whatever it was, 2002 or something.
Such deep pockets. We have such deep pockets now for this show.
Okay, so I guess we should start drawing.
I guess we'll start drawing. We'll say who we're drawing, right?
Yeah, I've posted a link. So...
What's his name? What's his name in here? I have so many windows open now.
Yeah, I'm just opening it now. West Raider. That is a good name.
That is a really good name.
And the title, for anyone who's trying to find it and they're not in the chat, is Hey Reddit, would y'all draw me with an extremely patriotic background? Thanks. And it's the one with the flag in the background.
America.
So, shut up. So I'm gonna sort my screen out so that I can screen share. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not. Yeah, no, I don't have a choice about that. Okay, screen sharing in 3, 2, 1. Infinite divide by 0. Oh dear God. There we go. There we go. There has to be at least one divide by 0 in every show. I think. I think that's gonna be our thing. Okay.
Let's see.
Refresh.
So, alright. So there's a couple things that came up in the Artist Lounge, right?
Yeah, we actually have topics this week.
We have topics, and I think I can kind of build a scenario that leads us to our first topic.
Oh, are you going to try and make a link? Is that what you're going to do? You're gonna
it's like a little, kind of, not so much as a segue, but I think I can build an environment that will help kind of explain how the first topic happens and kind of set the tone, okay?
Okay.
So, all right. So Sarah is in Essex, right? So that's where this is taking place. And, you know, I've done my research, so I would imagine the story takes place.
Did you watch the bloody show?
No, you see, that's what I found. Is it's nothing like the show out there for most people. So how it actually works is, I would imagine so the time, it's around 3 in the morning, and you're probably drinking the 32nd cup of tea.
What, right now?
In this scenario,
Oh,
at
in
3
this
a.m.
scenario, okay.
This is, I'm not sure when this takes place. It's a little while ago.
Okay.
And it's 3 a.m. and it's, I would imagine, since we're in Essex, that you're probably in some sort of like antique clock and pocket watch shop, and it's time to leave. So you're closing down the shop, right? So you're blowing out all the candles, and you're grabbing your lantern off the shelf for the walk home. You put on your hooded cloak, and you're leaving. And of course, you don't forget to cover the oil painting of Prince Harry. You draw the curtains over it, and and it's not like a painting of him in a leather chair. It's a painting. He's holding on to a tree branch, and it just says, "Hang in there, Harry." And he's got a "oh no" look on his face. So you're covering up that oil painting. You walk out the front door. You got the big key you take out of the little silk satchel on the side, and of course you go into the dark, sooty gray night sky, and then lock up the door, turn around, and there's no more horse-drawn taxi cabs anywhere. And it's so late, the chimney sweeps are all finishing up their last dance on top of all the roofs. You decide to just take a walk home, and you turn an alley, right? You go in this alley. It's a shortcut, and it's late at night, and you're like, I don't want to spend that much time on the streets, so I'm going to cut down this dark alley so I can be safe. And you turn down this safe alley, and then this old man with a floppy hat pops up from around the corner, and he goes, "Oi!" And you're like, "Ah!" And then he's like, "You're going to be in a group show, eh?" I can't do accents. But and that's how you got offered your group show.
Okay.
And then that's where we are now.
So that's how I got my request to be in a gallery. Yeah,
because it's different out there, and I was wondering how it works. In America, I would have been driving a truck made of steak and guns, and then two bald eagles would have come swooping down, and one would have had the Old Testament in his talons, and the other one would have had the New Testament, and then in his beak there'd be a little note, and then I would open it, and I would say, "You've been invited to a group show," and then they would proceed to fly off to freedom. But it's different where you're from. It's more subtle.
Freedom is everywhere in America.
I know. They just had to fly into the sky. That's all. Because they already made it.
They already made freedom.
So I imagine that was the scenario I imagined how you got your show offered.
It's pretty accurate, to be honest.
Not too far away from your antique clock and pocket watch.
There's only one issue. Everything else was absolutely accurate, but there's one issue. I don't drink tea.
Oh!
So, chat may break out in anger at me. I don't drink hot drinks. I don't like them. I don't drink...
No hot drinks?
No hot drinks. So, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, nothing. I can't stand it.
I actually heated up this wine. I didn't, but...
I believed you then. I accepted that. I was willing to accept that. In all of your fantasy worlds, that was the thing I was willing to accept.
Yeah. But the rest is true, though. You have the Prince
The rest
Harry
is absolutely
painting.
true, and we all have pictures of Prince Harry everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who don't know, this isn't absolutely concrete yet, but someone who is an artist coordinator got in contact with me, and they work for a pretty large organisation for artists, and they've done work with the British Library and I said library really weirdly there. The British Library and Chanel and stuff like that. They organise the events. And they've contacted me and said that they have a gallery exhibition coming up later this year, kind of around the time of the MCM Expo in May. And they've requested that they'd love to have me there. Now the thing is, when you get contacted, or at least in my personal experience, when you get contacted by a gallery or something like that, they tend to go, we'd love you to be here, but we also want you to apply through all the official means anyway. So I'm doing that process, but they have requested that they want my artwork there. I've set up my own exhibitions, but I've never been in a proper, quote, gallery exhibition in a thing in London. Like, this is a massive deal for me. So I put out a question. I'd love for Mike to give me his expertise on this, and I was wondering how to make the most of your first gallery exhibition. So what do you reckon? What things should I keep in mind and focus on?
I mean, so much of it depends on what the setup is. Now, this was one you were saying, like, you kind of have a certain space of wall, and then it almost sounds like it's kind of like a fair style, like you have the space of wall, and then you can fill that space of wall how you would like, right?
Yeah, so essentially the place would be laid out in that they buy like a panel, right? So I'll have 2 panels, and they're pushed up against each other, and they'll be white, and the total space is 2.4 meters by 2.4 meters big. So width and height. And then there'll be other artists in the area, and the common theme is that we'll all be illustrators. Now that's kind of a really vague theme, to be honest, because illustrator can mean a lot of different things. But there'll be a graffiti section as well. But yeah, so that's essentially the setup, and that's basically all I know at the moment.
Well, you know what you're up against if there's a graffiti section is they're gonna be filling the whole walls. It's gonna be like huge murals. So if you go in with like these little framed like prints or something, you're definitely gonna want something to dominate on the wall. Like, even consider, I would say in that environment, consider some type of, can you paint directly on the walls?
There are going to be some people who are, but I believe they have to have been approved previously. I'm basically being invited into this very late in the process, so I don't think I can do things like that. I think I have to say, these are the art pieces that I will have on display.
Well, I mean, and then that's all depending on your goals, because at that point, it's not a situation where you have to deal with contracts and representation. They might have some type of release thing that you have to sign. I don't know if they, but you're in a situation that sounds like the environment of just kind of like what kind of networking opportunities can you get out of this, and what kind of sales
opportunities, yeah.
Yeah, and what kind of sales can you do? If it's a high traffic environment, do you want to take the approach of selling many prints that are cheap but high volume?
Well,
what
it's
kind of collectors will be here?
As high end, so I'm assuming that they kind of want a certain price range to be there.
Okay, so then they're looking at like collectors and buyers, people that will follow art and spend some money on it.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's all assumptions at the moment, but based on their branding, that's what I think.
It wouldn't hurt if you can have both with you. It doesn't hurt, that's for sure. It's so funny because lots of times they kind of come in these scenarios, and then is this something that's regular that they do each year?
It looks like this is the second one. They do a lot of different exhibitions, but this particular one, it looks like this is the second one they've done yearly.
And is it in the same spot, or does it kind of move around? Or
no idea.
Because this is the kind of thing you may want to like look up if you see there's YouTube videos of the previous one to get a vibe of what it looked like. I imagine since there's 2, that's a good sign. It's interesting because there's just so many different ways there could be exhibits. Either you're being exclusively represented by a gallery, in which case they'll have you sign an exclusive contract, or if you're just in like kind of like a small little indie gallery, and then they probably just have like a little contract just for the length of time of your show and that little thing and what you can expect,
Okay, so if those kind of specific things are very case by case, if a general artist came up to you and said, I'm planning on having a gallery exhibition, would there be certain things that you'd say, this basically applies to everything, or this applies to the majority of exhibition cases? About protecting themselves, or about making sure that they get the most out of it, I guess. Make sure they don't get a bad experience.
Well, as the artist, I mean, I think it's all just. I mean, so much of it is the thing I've seen hurt people is bad contracts. But lots of times when you're first getting first shows, the contracts are pretty basic. You have to self-promote regardless. Because that's the other thing is if this is a thing where they promote it, they'll bring people. If you self-promote it, that's cool. I guess what I'm saying, the big division is this going to be whether you are whether you're being offered representation by a gallery or just a show, whatever that show environment will be. Representation by a gallery is a whole different complicated thing. And to be honest,
it'll just be a show.
Yeah, so if it's just
they will be promoting us, so they'll have like a big blog thing where they announce each artist every week or something like that.
Yeah, okay, so then that be the case. Then you're really looking at self-promotion's your biggest thing. You're going to be in an environment with a lot of people passing through, so come prepared with different price points. I would say feel it out with people, though. Like, when you're in a... Don't start with, like, if you're looking to make some sales, don't start with your lowest value item.
Yep,
first,
absolutely, yeah.
Because they'll take that, and then they'll be satisfied and leave, Have them see what's there, and then you can gauge, because if they're just kind of like, oh, well, I could never afford something like this, and, oh, well, I have this. Otherwise, I mean, you never know.
I do that at conventions. I mean, that's the thing that I know. I know convention floors, which is kind of like working on a market stall, essentially.
Yeah, that's... So, and I mean, in the case of this show, I really, from the sound of it, the way it kind of sounds like it's run like an art fair, I don't think it's going to be very different than how a convention is, except you're going to be dealing with, instead of people kind of looking for merchandise, you'll actually find people looking to purchase artwork. And I don't mean artwork like books and what aren't art or whatever kind of...
Yeah, you mean a physical painting you put on the wall,
that, or those kind, or at least if you're a printmaker, whatever kind of thing. But they're going to be looking for just you just hang on a wall, not merchandise. Or the other different types of art. I hate how there's that distinction between fine art and all that.
Yeah, I completely agree, but it does help to define stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would recommend, if people wanted to... So, when you're in certain situations, you talk to people differently than how you talk to them otherwise. So, if you're at a convention, you're very chatty, very... talking to people like you're talking to your best mates, kind of. How would you recommend talking to people in this kind of, quote, fine art setting?
Just a lot of flatulence and try to say a lot of racial slurs. Noted. Well, Mike said. I mean, the thing is if it's just you talking to people, I don't think it's going to be much different. I mean, some people, because I don't have any experience with conventions, but I find that in where I have, there's the art walk that's at my space that brings in a lot of people, and then everyone just kind of, if they're talking directly to the artist, they're gonna being able to hear things that only the artist would know, the process, the inspiration.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I love about galleries when they have the artists in, definitely.
Yeah, and in certain situations, if you're in the academic museum environment, they like the very kind of very philosophical art speak.
Yeah,
terms,
the symbolism, all that stuff.
Yeah, and then when you're dealing with people that are kind of and just an art lovers, art fans, and general audience, you're looking at people that tend to like the romantic elements of the art. They're the people that if you see a movie and an artist is in a movie, you notice how it's always an abstract painter, and when he's painting, he's spinning around and shit and doing cartwheels. But really, when you're working, usually you're just stressed at how long you've been sitting in a chair staring at something. It's really boring to see.
Why you've got an essentially sport injury from just sitting for too long because your butt hurts too much.
I remember when I was in school, there was a student was filming another student while he was painting. That whole thing was going on.
Oh, okay.
I just love it when that happens because I mean, I've seen the dude paint normally. You know what I mean? I've seen what it looks like when he's actually painting, and it looks much more like how, you know, like Bob Ross would paint. It's just how you would see that on TV. You're just standing in front of an easel and painting. And but you know, the camera was there, the music's blasting, so of course he's jumping around and he's painting on wood, he's stabbing it with a palette knife. It's like, man, you never do that. You never do that. And it's funny because you can see there's the moment when someone's putting on the show that the painting starts not really going anywhere and looking very good, so they have that panic. Like, I need to actually focus for a second, but that's gonna look really boring on camera, you know.
Yeah, I definitely have that at conventions. Like, I'll start off being super chatty and really trying to be arranging myself so that everyone can stand around and see the artwork, and then I realize this is slowing me down so much, and then I go into super drawing mode, and everyone's like, "Oh, her face changed."
Yeah, right. That's into the focus. And there was you know what always drove me crazy when thinking the performance style drawing is you see those every now and then you see a video pop up on Reddit or something, and it'll be one of those guys that has
oh my god,
a little song, and they paint on the canvas. It's all black, and they're doing the ooh with their fingers on it and stuff.
Yeah, or they're sitting in a straight, and they've got 5 palette knives, and they're just
yeah, and it's always, you know, and then it's the same thing. It's the canvas that's all with, you know, a black gesso or prime black, and they do the painting, and everyone's like, oh, I can't tell what it is, and then they flip it upside down, and it's Ray Charles or whatever.
Yeah,
and oh, and I love it because it's just that. What is that? You know?
I think it's because as an artist, you spend a lot of time on your own. That's the one thing that I noticed that made me really love conventions, and even doing streams like this as well, because you spend so long sat on your own with no one talking to you and just focused on drawing, and you do it all day, and then you've got this moment to be a star. You've got this little moment to be an actor and to show off and for everyone to tell you that you're amazing, and you can't really help but get absorbed by that a little bit, can you?
Yeah, put on the show. It's just so fun. And then the one thing I also noticed, you ever notice that it's always on a black canvas? And I always wondered if they did that because you could actually put pencil lines on it and hide it, and the camera won't see them.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
They never do it on a white canvas.
Yeah, whenever I see it done, it's something that can be quickly changed easily.
Yeah.
It's not something too permanent. It's not like sitting there with a white piece of paper and an ink pen. It's never that.
Yeah, right. I think I don't know. The thing's it's almost, you have to build this mystique to the art, this kind of glamorized, you know, idea of what it's like to make. It's so you know, and I blame movies. It's always the passion and it's so. Why won't it work? He's so torn up.
I remember you saying to me that you get very passionate during painting.
Oh, I wasn't passionate. I got really angry.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like sexy angry. You know, it wasn't just I get angry and my shirt tears off and I'm I'm glistening with art sweat. Yeah. This wasn't hunk angry. This is why is that guy spazzing out? He looks crazy. Let's leave. This is awkward. Angry. You know. It was that. It was a kind of angry if you were at a restaurant and there was some weird irate customer a couple tables over, and you're just oh my god, this is mortifying. Let's get out of here.
Everyone's really embarrassed.
Yeah, it feels more like that. It's a cross between that and just kind of being scary. It was that kind of angry, you know, because it's you're not used to seeing an artist just suddenly. I would just take the boards and I remember I had my studio and then there was someone across. Just the little path in the studio next to me. And I was working on a painting and it wasn't working, and I just grab it and I just throw it on the ground really hard. It just it was a board and it just bounced 5 or 6 feet in the air and fell over. And I heard her just and I look over and she's looking at me weird and I'm like, no, it's all good. That just happens.
It's fine.
You know? But it was I went easy on that, which was good because I had a couple studio meltdowns and I was just I'm just wasting art materials.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It gets too expensive to be annoyed.
Yeah, and my frustration wasn't helping me make art. You know, I wasn't making better art because of it. I was just smashing the art I didn't like, and eventually it was like, you know what, I need to actually practice like working through the problems. That being said, I'll still tear up painting or smash a thing like that. I just won't do it as angrily. I'll just kind of resign myself to tearing it up and throwing it away and just staring for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, it could happen with this drawing. It could happen at any time. It will eventually happen. It will happen. I mean, you know, I even have doubts about how this drawing's going right now. You know, so you never know.
I'm actually having issues with this drawing. How are you finding it?
You know, it's hard because I find that even when the photo reference is even just a little blurry, it will completely throw off my process because I can't lock down where the features should really end and begin.
Yeah, I'm having that issue with the nose because there's some blurriness across the middle of the nose, and I can't figure out where the exact contours are, and I'm ending up with something completely different to what the reference is telling me, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I might have to move on and come back.
It's happening to me right now. That's why I had to just move the mouth. And it's amazing. I for a long time drawing RGDs, I would screw up, and I would always get really so down on myself. Oh, why can't I figure this out? Why am I not paying? You know. And then I realized at one point, I'm like, you know what? Everything I seem to be struggling with, I'm actually just working off of a bad reference. So I'm going into this with a poor set of tools and the wrong tools, and of course I'm not gonna find success. You know.
Yeah.
So it was that thing where that became one of my biggest issues.
Everyone else's fault. It's not mine.
It's not mine. Well, no, it's just I'm not. You know, I don't know. I'm just not as good at it. Like people will do those same pictures and make these beautiful drawings.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wait. I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait till I get a reference that's a little more clear. You know.
Yeah.
But it's clearly everyone else's fault but mine.
Clearly. As always.
It always is. As always.
Oh god, this is gonna take forever for me to figure out what I've done wrong.
Yeah, this is totally one of those that feels like it's gonna go on for an eternity trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm basically breaking it down into its absolute component parts and just trying to figure out where the like solid shapes are. So like making the nose into like a circle, and then I guess this is a rhombus almost, and then two little circles on either side, and really going back to basics and trying to figure out, right, let's start from something that makes sense there and then go out from there.
Yeah, and you know it's funny, I just saw a link to D-Mun Man is rocking this piece on a canvas right now, this photo. He's way ahead of me.
Oh yeah, it's bossing it right there. Absolutely bossing it.
Oh Lord.
Oh my god. Right.
This is going to be one of those ones where it's going to even be harder to talk about subjects because we're going to be so focused.
We're going to be sitting here like, oh, how do I get through this?
How do I do it? I can't. And you're going to see like my head poking like this every now and then because I'm going to be going crazy trying to get it to work.
I always find, right, my mom watches my videos every now and then. And she always sends me a message whenever a little bit of my hair like leans into the picture because I focus too much. Like if it just goes across the camera, she's like, I saw your hair in that one. I'm like, shut up, Mum.
I like how much like she's looking out for you on that. That's awesome.
Yeah. She said like the next day after our last show, she was like, right, we need to sort out the background behind you because this is on show and this is on show and they need to be moved around. I'm like, Mom, you're doing set design. She loves that kind of thing. She loves set design. She used to work in like a drama type club. Well, it was a drama club, but it was like a professional thing where they did like little stand-up things and stuff. So yeah, she's really proper on that. She ended up doing several like big plays that I was in. Oh my god, I'll tell you a stupid play story. So
I'm excited for this one. This is going to be awesome.
So I used to be part of a church. I'm no longer Christian, but I used to be part of a church which she was in. And every year we'd do like a big production type thing because several of the people who ran it were massive into both art and drama. So her and a few of her friends set up this thing, and the concept of it, let's see if I can remember, the concept of it was that there were these little, like, I'm going to draw them, layer, new layer. Okay, so there were these little fluffy creatures that were like little lines like that, and they had big fluffy bodies. They looked like weird fluffy worms. And then they had big googly eyes like that, and they were the main characters, and they were little puppets on sticks that would all like move around and show. And they were looking after this kind of egg thing, this little egg that was in the cluster, and the whole show was about getting the egg back to these little fluffy creatures, I think. I was very young.
What were they called?
Huh?
Did they have a name?
They did, but I have no idea. I think I was about 8 at the time when this was done. So my job in the show was to walk up in the final song, banging together 2 plastic bin lids, you know, the classic circular bin lids, smashing those together and singing Millennium by Robbie Williams.
How did that fit into the story?
I can't even remember. That's all I can remember from it. These weird little fluffy worm creatures, and then singing Millennium at the end. And it was great fun. And she set up the whole thing. And yeah.
And it's online for everyone to see?
No, it's not. It's really not. I think that was long before YouTube was a thing.
We gotta get those videos turned into YouTube videos. What was the...
That was on like a VHS tape or something. Who in the chat is young enough to not know what that is?
I said VHS. I knew I was old when I said VHS to someone, and they looked at me and they were like, "What's VHS?" I was like,
"Oh no."
Crap.
But I'm old enough to do that now. I'm old enough to do that.
That's true.
I can.
Yeah, I had so many VHS tapes. Like, I remember it. I was there. That was growing up to that.
I remember one of my favorites was the Splash movie. Do you remember that?
Tom Hanks?
Huh?
Splash
yeah, with Tom
Hanks?
Yeah.
With the mermaid?
That was one of my favorites, yeah, as a little kid.
You know, we own that movie, and I don't remember if I ever watched it. Like, I don't really remember it.
No. It had a song in it where a guy would sing about potatoes on his shoulder. I think Tom Hanks sang it. And he sang about little potatoes on his shoulder, and I loved it.
There's songs in that movie?
Well, not really. It was just he was walking through a scene and he was singing in it. And I thought I loved it. And then the mermaid's really good in it. Like the way her tail looks, it's really like fishy. Like whenever you see a mermaid, usually it's this kind of absolutely gorgeous tail that just is absolutely perfect. It's kind of like a snake or something. But in that movie, they really made it look like the tail of like a fish that's just like flapping about. I thought that was really clever.
Oh my god! Now, what was I'm trying to remember the actress's name. What was her name? She was in Kill Bill.
I haven't seen that.
What was her name? That's gonna drive me crazy. And here I am, surrounded by internets.
Surrounded by
internets.
Yeah.
I don't want to go typing around on IMDb for this.
Oh, I've got some
local
movies on VHS. I've definitely got some of local movies on VHS. I think they're behind me somewhere. I think I've got the first one on VHS. They're talking about Pokemon in the chat.
Talking about what?
Pokemon. Did anyone
I'm so not going to be able to help
video?
with this.
I did a Pokemon video.
I get so much trouble when it comes to Pokemon. I don't know anything about it.
You don't know anything?
I don't know anything. Remember I told you that my
yeah, you don't.
Our good friend Art Broken made a quiz for it. Well, no, it was Art Broken busted me, and then Catlix made a quiz that was quizzing me on matching up Harry Potter terms and Pokemon terms and determining which was which. I was just failing. It was so bad. It was really embarrassing because I should know both of those things, and I don't know either of those things.
Harry Potter's really good.
Yeah.
The books are really good. I loved the books.
I kind of, I was going to read it. I just never got around to it. It'll happen one day. I'll get there.
I really enjoyed the book of Deathly Hallows. I remember I went on holiday when that came out. It was literally the week after that came out, so everyone had it on pre-order. Everyone had it arrive at their doors in a bloody Amazon package ready to be read. And then we went on a holiday to Mallorca, I think it was, and we're sitting there on the beach, this gorgeous beach. It's got palm trees up into the sky, and it goes on forever, and this lovely, like, teal sea that everyone's sitting there and looking out of as every single person on the beach is reading that book. Every single one of them. And they were all in different languages. And my mum speaks fluent German, and there was this German couple over from us, and they're sitting there reading the book, and they're trying to figure out what a Horcrux is, because they're like, is that a mistranslated word or something? So my mum had to go over there and explain in German that it wasn't a mistranslation and what a Horcrux was. And I thought that was amazing.
I remember I was working at Barnes and Noble.
Here, really?
When pretty much all the years the Harry Potter books were coming out, I was working at the bookstore, and I remember, like, you get the huge shipment of, like, just like half your inventory in the back room would be the boxes of whatever the next Harry Potter book was, and the big thing on it, like, you cannot open it until this date, you know. Like, the publishers were so scared about just the
spoilers,
release. Yeah, it was man, those things, that was craziness. But it was exciting to see, though. It was exciting to see.
It must have been weird.
People get that excited over a book.
Yeah,
you know?
It must have been weird seeing so much excitement over one series, like one book series.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. It just, you know, I mean, how many kids especially did that book single-handedly inspire to just start reading, you know?
And even to start writing as well. I think that's many people started, like, fan fiction and stuff just caused by that book, and that's what has led them into writing careers.
Yeah, most definitely. It's funny. My brother really loved that series, and he actually, because he's read the Lord of the Rings too, and he was just like, he thought the Lord of the Rings was boring. That's probably blasphemous for a lot of people, but he really loved Harry Potter. For all his reasons. I mean, I can't speak for him, put words in his mouth. He had reasons, and he laid them out. And he's a smart guy, aspiring writer himself. He's done his share of reading.
Very good.
I don't know. I have huge gaps in my knowledge. Sci-fi, fantasy. I just have huge gaps.
Yeah, same.
Knowledge there. I don't know. I don't.
I'm more of a TV sci-fi nerd. I love Star Trek and Stargate. They are my babies. I grew up on them. Guess what, right? I'll tell you something about Star Trek. I believe it was my third word. So it was after Mummy and Daddy. The word I learnt was Enterprise.
Oh my god.
You're welcome. You're welcome for that fact.
Yeah, they got you young on that. They got you young.
Yeah. So my mum used to basically have that show on loop all the time, and that was the word I learnt. So I think I used to say it whenever the ship went past on Next Gen.
Yeah.
And I think I actually even thought that Next Gen was called Enterprise. So I'd just say Enterprise when I saw that on. So yeah. So I was destined to be a nerd/business person.
Like his next nerd/. The Next Generation was the one where I remember that being on TV, and to me, like, I didn't follow Star Trek, so just for years it always just seemed like that was the standard of it, you know, and I don't know, it was, and then I never really watched it, but I remember one time I was just loafing around, and then I watched an episode, and I don't know which series, which episode. All I remember is someone on the crew, it was their parents were there. I don't know, whatever. It was really late at night, so I'm probably half asleep. This might have even been like during, if this was around college, I was probably half asleep and drunk or
half
something.
Drunk, yeah.
Yeah, half drunk. No, I make it sound like I'm just wasted all the time, but that's not the case. Yeah, you know what
I know you outside of this podcast. You are.
And I'm always wasted. Always.
Absolutely.
The whole premise is that, you know, that this crew member's parents had joined a cult, and then it got into this, like, kind of philosophical look at like the idea of it and brainwashing, but then them finding their own. It became so much of their identity and personality that even when they know it was a cult, it didn't matter anymore because it was just who they were, and that's where they found. And it was the.
And this was on Next Gen.
I'm not sure which series it was. You know, this was kind of separate from kind of knowing that, you know, when I saw Next Gen as a kid, it was just at some point later when I had not thought about Star Trek in a long time, but it was kind of blowing my mind because I'm just like, wow, they haven't, like, this whole episode has had almost kind of no sci-fi elements whatsoever as a part of the story. It just, and then I was kind of like, man, I was just thinking, like, I should really like watch this because this is so this other level that I had no idea, you know.
Absolutely. The thing that Next Gen does really well is that, and Star Trek in general does very well, is that it doesn't focus on the fact that they're in space. They just happen to be in space. So there's a lot of stuff in the universe that acts as a trigger for things, but it mainly focuses on the relationships and the human element of that, and I think that's one of the things that most people love about Star Trek, and also the fact that they have the Prime Directive, which is like this order that you have to do in the universe if you're in the Federation, and that basically means that you try and avoid fighting as much as possible, and you try and avoid interfering, and obviously they always do end up in a little fight and a little interfering, but it means that you've got this element of you don't just run in guns blazing, you've got this kind of human and relations type element where everyone's trying to negotiate with each other. So I think that really sets Star Trek out from other stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's why a lot of people love it as well.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's right. I had the amazing experience of going to Destination Star Trek London, and for anyone who knows what that is, you know what that is. Oh, it is. So that is. It was basically the biggest convention for Star Trek ever, and they had every single one of the captains there, from Janeway to Kirk. They had the whole lot there. And you could stand there and get all of their autographs, and I saw a wonderful speech by Sir Patrick Stewart, and I got to meet him and get his autograph, and that's going to be one of the things that I just hold on to for the rest of my life, because it was absolutely amazing and so inspiring as well. He could make you go from laughing 1 second to it on the verge of tears to another second, and then all of a sudden completely inspire you with one sentence. You don't really meet many people like that, I don't think. So that was absolute privilege to go to that.
That is. Where's the autograph right now?
The autograph is on my wall. I have a wall in my bedroom which is basically just all the autographs that I've ever gotten. I've got Sir Patrick Stewart, I've got Brent Spiner, who played Data. He's also been in billions of other movies as well. And then I've got people like Claire Bennett from Heroes, Hayden Panettiere. I've got several of the crew from Enterprise, the latest show that's set before all the others. And I would actually, if you're interested in getting back into Star Trek, a lot of people will hate me for saying this, but Enterprise is so good, and I would highly recommend it, because a lot of people hated it because it's kind of, you know, when you start off a game and you're given all the powers and then they take them away immediately. Yeah. It's kind of that in a show, because in the show you discover how they get all of the different things that they have, like holograms and stuff like that. You're before that, you're their first starship. So you've got this element of a lot of infighting between the Vulcans and the humans and stuff like that. But seriously, like, season 3 is probably the best season I've ever seen of any show ever. So I would highly recommend that if you feel like getting back into it.
That'd be fun to jump into that point and then
see it develop.
Well, then it'd be funny if you talk to someone about it and then you tell them, like, if it's the series that people don't like that much, but that's where you're starting, like, no, it's good. And they're like, why are you going there?
Yeah, so many people hate it, but I think it's because so many people didn't give it a chance. I think it's also an element of the fact that it was coming out weekly on TV, because I watched it all in essentially one go over a month on DVD, and it was just brilliant because you just saw the slow progression of all of the characters and what they develop into and how they change, which may have gotten lost in a weekly show.
Okay, yeah. So I got it. Yeah, I gotta give this a whirl and see what happens.
Definitely.
What if I just what if it was just like I watch? I'm like, I hate this show. That would be hilarious.
Oh, you're allowed to hate shows.
I won't. I wouldn't. I'm sure. I actually would I'd probably enjoy it. But it'd be funny. But I won't. I'd go in with an open mind.
Yeah, go in.
I think I'd enjoy it. But yeah. But I have to then finish all the shows I'm trying to watch. All the billion
shows.
So many shows. Our special guest is ready.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop streaming my screen then so that I can invite him in.
Be sure to